Hello you guys, welcome to Chris Codes. My name is Crystal, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button because you know you want to, and it's free. Like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, so let's address the elephant in the room. I haven't made a YouTube video in what, a year?
What?
And that's a long story that we won't be talking about today. But with my first video back, I thought why not start it with a Foolishness Friday, because when I was looking back on my videos, that was one of the most popular videos. So I said, okay, why not start it back off with that? I am going to be regular, back with the Foolishness Fridays, the Makeup and Message, Wardrobe Wednesdays, of course, because that's like my favorite part of my channel. Let me know in the comments what you liked about the channel, what you like to see, and I'll try to incorporate that in the videos to come. But let's get right into the topic. Okay, so for this Foolishness Friday, we're going to be talking about a content creator, influencer, whatever you all like to use, whatever term. Her name is TALITHA James. So, long story short, TALITHA James is a influencer that most of her videos revolve around God, her spiritual journey, things of that nature. That's why a lot of people have followed her. Now, me being a Christian, I thought when I first saw a lot of the controversy, I was like, this would be a good Foolishness Friday, because I had different opinions from a lot of people I saw, but I had similar opinions to the people, some of the videos I did see in regards to her situation. So we're going to get into what happened, what was going on, and then, of course, my opinion and my viewpoint on the foolishness. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, we're going to start this video off with what took place and why it was viral and why it was so much backlash in regards to this. So TALITHA James is a pastor's daughter. Her mom's the first lady, all that. So she grew up in the church, which I can relate to. So she's real transparent. She's known for being real transparent. I have not watched her videos until now before making this video, because I like to do a bit of research and so on and so forth, just to kind of get my own opinion on it, because you watch other people's videos and you kind of gain a bias. So as I was watching some of her videos and all that jazz, I found out, a bit about her background. So she moved out of her parents' house, apparently, and she said God told her to move to Houston. So all the backlash stemmed from her talking about a story time about how she was talking to a guy. So it was a situationship. They weren't like dating seriously, so on and so forth. It was a situationship, but I'm guessing he led her to believe it was more than what it was. I don't know anyone, for that matter, who would just be moving a whole nother state for a man if he didn't lead her to believe it was more than what it was.
Oh, the deception, the betrayal.
But that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. So basically in this story time, she says that's the reason she moved to Houston and all that jazz. And the backlash of it, which is why it went viral, was because her followers felt some type of way because they were following her along this spiritual journey, her building a relationship with God and all that. And they felt, I'm guessing they felt lied to or betrayed in that manner. But because she said she moved to Houston because God told her to, when in reality, it was for a man. So I have a lot of mixed opinions on this. So I do want to add in a few clips of what I've seen, just so you all can get a little context. I'll probably go ahead and add in a clip of her, maybe a small clip about the story time, like the story time itself. I'll probably add a clip in so you all can kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about, but I pretty much summed it up for you so you don't have to watch the whole video. And then we're going to move into what other people were saying about it, and then what I thought about it.
The story time on why I moved to Houston for a man. Oh, I'm embarrassed, kinda. A little bit. It was a learning experience. You might have to watch this in 2 hours.
TALITHA JANE moved to Houston, Texas for a man. And a lot of her followers and a lot of people that actually looked up to TALITHA JANE is kind of upset about the whole situation because Talitha told her followers allegedly that she was moving to Houston because God told her to move to Houston, and she was following her dreams of moving to Houston, and she was doing it because God told her to. So Talitha released a video the other day stating that she basically moved to Houston for a man, as you guys just heard. Not only that, but a lot of Talitha followers are upset because Talitha started stating that she was a woman of God and she was changing her life over, and how she basically was following her dreams and listening to God, and that's what God told her to do, which was to move to Houston. And she was moving there as well for other business purposes, is allegedly is what they were stating. Some also stated that TALITHA JANE told them that she purchased a home in Houston, but instead it turned out to be a high-rise apartment. So they're now looking at TALITHA JANE as if she's lying about being a woman of God, and as she's lying about her whole life. And it seems like a lot of people are upset about it. Now, I am one of the ones that follow TALITHA JANE because I love her, and I do understand where she's coming from. And as far as to go with her lying to her followers, I don't think that she should have done that. I think she should have been open and honest about it in the beginning, so a lot of people would not be upset about it. But that's all I have been seeing on my For You page is TALITHA JANE moving to Houston for a man, and lied stating that she moved to Houston because God told her to, and told her that it was time for a change.
So now that you've seen that, a few people had feelings about how kind of her whole content is a lie, or that most of her content is for the male gender, or it's basically catering to males. And I guess because they're talking about the way she dresses and all of that. And I have an opinion on that too. I feel like, now I am one to believe that you should be fairly modest, especially in certain genres, certain aspects. But I also believe that if you're of a certain age, you can't expect her to be wearing dresses down to the ground, you know, if she's trying to give you fashion content at age, I think she's 24. I think someone said she's 24. So you can expect her to be dressed like a nun. You know what I mean? In this day and age. Now, people say it's a certain place and it's a certain time. If I'm going to church, do you think I'd be in a tube top? You know, if I'm going to a family function, do you think I would be in a club dress and some sky high heels? No, it's a place and time for everything. Now, do I think everything she puts online, like as far as her clothing is concerned, might be appropriate? No, but everybody's conviction is their conviction. When you feel like you're dressing appropriately or inappropriately, for that matter, God will convict you. He'll make you feel a way about it. You'll feel uncomfortable. That's why you see people tugging on their skirts and tugging on their dresses all night and so on and so forth, because you feel uncomfortable. If you didn't feel uncomfortable, you feel like, oh, you know, it might be rising up or so on and so forth, then you probably wouldn't do all that. But if you're doing it all night, now I get it, you gotta fix yourself and all that jazz. But if every 2 seconds you tugging on your dress, or you're doing this or you're doing that, or you're feeling like, dang, all eyes on me, and you're getting a lot of unwanted attention, but it's not like, oh, you're beautiful, you're this, you're that. It's, you know what type of attention I'm talking about. Then that's signs of conviction. That's signs of you, of saying that you're being viewed in a way that you may not want to be viewed. Some people want to be viewed that way, and that's their business. You know, tap it around. But that's my opinion on that. I don't know if it's she's being a pick-me or whatever the case may be, but that's how I feel on that. I'm like, people are convicted in different ways. I think it's a setting for everything, and a lot of stuff she has on in her videos, it's not like she's in church doing that, you know, dressed like that. Ask her what she wears when she go to church. Ask her what she wears when she's like hanging with her family or in a function with people that are, you know, her elders. Y'all don't crucify, you know, the video vixens and stuff like that. I get it. Oh, they don't preach this, preach that, or they don't proclaim to be Christian, but the same grace that y'all expect from us, we don't get that. You know, we don't get that. Like, we don't live the same lives you all live or experience the same things that you all experience. That baffles me, but we'll get to that later. Let's keep it going. Now, I also want to talk about situationships. Like, she's in this situation because of a situationship. And I get that you meet someone, you all click, and you think, oh man, this might be the person for you, or, you know, this might be it, and I see an opportunity to make it grow. But again, like I said, she's 24. It takes time to mature and kind of understand, you know, how certain people operate, how men operate as a woman. You know, I'm older than her, and I've met women much older than me that have done much more and have been fooled by less. Now, I don't know what he may have told her or how she perceived it to be to make her want to move because of this. You know, I don't know. We don't know pillow talk. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but I will tell you this. You all, anybody can say that they knew someone that was manipulated or kind of like someone more than that person liked them, or whatever the case may be. So to crucify them, or, you know, victim blame, like people love to say, victim shame for making mistakes or wanting something or fantasizing something's more than what it is, it's kind of messed up. You know, it's kind of messed up. Like, how I get that the followers was like, you know, we following you on a spiritual journey. You maybe inspire me to get closer to God and all that type of stuff. But if anything, thank her for that. Thank her for that. People aren't entitled. Why are people so entitled that just because you post a lot of your life online that you have to like disclose everything? Maybe she wasn't comfortable enough at that time. Straight out of a breakup, a lot of times you don't want to talk about stuff. I'm like that. You know, even if it's a situationship, I don't condone situationships, because me personally, I feel like if a man wants to commit to you, he will. He just will. Now, whether he has a good excuse for it, he might not be over the last breakup. He might have financial issues or whatever the case may be. That means that's not a relationship for you. That's how I look at it. I just think that situationships just don't go well. Maybe you might be the exception to the rule, but situationships just don't work well. I think dating with a purpose is the best route to go. You may still end up hurt in the end, but you learn from it. You saw red flags later on. Hindsight's 2020. That you wouldn't make that same mistake later. Everything is a learning lesson. God uses everything for your good. So situationships is just a no-go for me. If people don't know that they want you in their life seriously, they don't want to take you seriously, or they don't want you to be exclusive or whatever the case may be, what's the point of it? If that's what you want. And that brings me into my next topic. So when I said that you need to be dating with a purpose, if that's what you're looking for, I say that, and I want to add to that. That's why I said that brings me to my next point, is if you're going to be dating with a purpose, while you're dating with a purpose, or you're in a relationship or a situationship for that matter, like I said, I don't agree with those. I don't do those. It just doesn't make any sense to me, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But you need to have a purpose while you're in that relationship. I feel like a lot of women fall short in that aspect, including me. When we get in these relationships, a lot of women are nurturing, they're giving, they're caring. That's like in our nature. So when you get in these relationships, you let yourself fall short. You stop prioritizing what's important to you and you start prioritizing what's important to that man. And I feel like that is what she did. You know, you forget like, oh, you know, I want to do this with my life. I want to do that with my life. I want to accomplish this. I want to accomplish that. And now I may be wrong. Maybe that's not the case, but I don't see anybody moving to another state, being heartbroken or talking about a man on their social media for years. You know, if that wasn't the case, if he didn't, you know, if he wasn't the center of it. And that's why a lot of times I want to bring this up too, because they just tore her to shreds on TikTok about like, oh, you know, her platform is this and that, and it's not authentic. But God uses pain for your purpose. You know, I'm going to insert a clip actually right now of her talking about all the backlash, and then we'll proceed after that. But I want you all to watch this because that's exactly what I'm talking about right now.
Hate video after hate video after hate video after hate video. People saying like how pretty much my whole platform is male-centered and how I only came to Christ because I want a man, and how I'm shallow and I'm a lot of things which I don't even like repeating about myself because I don't find them to be true. I feel kind of bad because obviously it's wrong to hate on people, but at the same point I'm starting to blame myself because I feel like if you think that I am close to God for a man, then I'm not doing my part as a Christian, because it's so much more than that. Putting my Christian journey and it being for a man together is because the experience I went through with a man like expedited my relationship with God. I mean, everyone's journey is different. Some people get closer to God in jail. Some people get closer to God on a near-death experience. Some people get closer to God randomly out of the blue. For me, like y'all know, I've followed God my entire life, but it wasn't until I moved here where that relationship didn't work and I got super depressed and my little heart was broken that I really relied on God. Do I think I will have a better man from following God? Absolutely, because you like start to weed people out. But the whole purpose of me on like a self-love journey and doing self-dating and solo trips and taking myself, you know, like all these things is not because I want a man. It's because a man hurt me and I want to learn to love myself because of that experience that I went through. I don't even know what else to say, y'all, besides the fact that my feelings are so hurt. Like,
as I say, it's crazy that people are talking about, oh, you know, she's following God, but she did this and she did that. And, you know, now she's following God because of some man and so on and so forth. It's pain in general. It's pain in general. People have a different pain tolerance. Have you ever heard of that when it comes to tattoos or surgery or how people heal and so on and so forth? People have a different pain tolerance. And a lot of times, whether you're going through a breakup, a job loss, financial strife, it doesn't matter. Or you're grieving a death in the family. God uses those avenues to get you to see him, you know, to get you to put him in the center of your life.
Y'all be so quick to say that God led you to a decision, that God led you to make this choice. God showed you that that was your husband. God showed you that you need to make this major move for him, that this is the one for you. God showed you that. You know what? You are right. Your God showed you, because that man is your God. That man that you want to be in relationship with, that man is your God. You praise him, you serve him, and you do what he asks you to do. You treat him like he is your God. And it breaks my heart when I see situations like this, because so many women are trained to serve a man like a God rather than being told to be in partnership with one. I don't know many men who will inconvenience their life. They'll be uncomfortable for a little bit if that means being with you forever. I don't know many men who will do that. I don't know many men who will pick up his whole life and move for you. I don't know many men who will do that, but women will do it. And you said that God led you to that. No, Your man, which is your God, manipulated you into thinking that you should inconvenience your life for him. He manipulated you into letting go of your dreams. He manipulated you into not being your own person anymore. He now hovered over your life like a God, and you got it confused with the ultimate God. Baby girl, don't ever get that twisted. God didn't lead you to that decision. That man did. That man did. And I feel sorry for you that you've been fooled that way. That man led you there. And now you stand alone without that man, needing to navigate how to live life again. Because every move and decision that you made was based on your man, your God.
So maybe she heard God wanted her to move out or whatever, but he didn't say follow some random man to Houston. Maybe he didn't say that. Maybe she took that upon her own accord. But like I said, he uses everything for your good. So she learned hopefully she learns from that. Some people go through the same things over and over and over and over again, but they don't learn from it. Hopefully, all the backlash will get her to see. But that's my thing. It's like, y'all go through things in your life, and at least she has a foundation. Whenever I go through stuff in my life, that's who I go to. The key is to continue that relationship. The key is to continue that relationship with him, whether you're in a relationship or not, whether you're going through troubles or not. And it's easier said than done. I know that firsthand. But when you get in a relationship and you center everything, schedule everything around your significant other, you build an unhealthy attachment. Like that guy said in the TikTok short I placed in this video. You build an unhealthy attachment to someone and you make them your God. It's like an idol. The golden calf. For those of you that know scripture, that's what it is. You put that person before yourself. You put that person before God, and it just really doesn't go well. It never goes well. It never goes well. So it's like that. We gotta learn. It's like, it's not selfish to put yourself first. The moment you see the disrespect, the moment you see the mess, the foolishness, the lies, whatever it is, that intuition that goes off in your head. I have a story time about it. Maybe one day I'll do a story time about it, but yeah, whenever something comes to your attention that wouldn't normally come, or that you didn't go searching for, and it just came and fell in your lap, a lot of times that's God showing you you're putting somebody before me that would never that wouldn't put you before a rock. That's big facts. That's big facts. A lot of times you'll do any and everything for somebody. You take the shirt off your back. You know what I mean? But they wouldn't take the penny out their pocket. But that teaches you to put yourself first. What it doesn't teach you is to change your giving spirit, your caring spirit, so on, so forth. It doesn't teach you to change those things about you, but it teaches you to value those traits and to give them to someone that's in need of that. Not trying to take that from you. Let's continue. Now, I want to get on Real Talk with Yanni, and she mentioned something in her video. I'm going to add a clip so you all can watch it. I'll either add the clip from her video or I'll add the original clip itself. I don't know which one. I haven't edited obviously yet. But I wanted to talk about this. When she brought this up, I said that right there is something that has to be spoken about, and we're going to talk about that today on this video. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a clip of Kirk Franklin talking about marriage being weaponized in Christianity. Western Christianity and like the black churches and all that. And I want to talk about this because I think it's very valid in this situation. And I think a lot of people don't see it that way because a lot of people are one-sided. They have selfish views. And that's why, honestly, I think the whole reason of her being dragged is a bit selfish, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to go into all that. I just want you all to watch this clip and then we're going to talk about it. All right, let's get into it.
I believe that marriage has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Giving has been weaponized in Western Christianity. Sexuality has been weaponized. For example, any woman listening to this can attest in our culture. Don't be no 30, 35-year-old single black woman and go to the family reunion. All the older women are going to do them. They're going to look at you and wonder, why you not married?
Where your man at? Where your kids at?
Like it's a prerequisite for identity and value that if you don't have a man, if you don't have kids, that something about you is broken. Do you understand how dysfunctional these messages are?
Yeah.
Paul said, but marriage is a necessary distraction. I have many friends that were in ministry at church, and the church has told them, if you're going to be in ministry, you can't be single. We're not going to let you work with the youth ministry if you're single. You can't do this if you're single. And so what people do, they quickly get married thinking that they're fulfilling God's will for their lives, but they are fulfilling man's dogma. You can be single and be used by God. You can be single and have purpose. Being married is not a prerequisite for God's hand on your life. It is not, but we've weaponized it. And then crucify people. Where my camera at?
Right there.
And then crucify people when those same marriages don't
Fail!
So now that you all seen this clip, I want to talk about that because I've experienced this myself. Now, I will say I've always been a little different when it comes to marriage, kids, things of that nature. When I was younger, I never wanted kids. I didn't want kids. I never thought about like, I'm going to meet a guy, I'm going to have kids and get, it just wasn't in the forefront of my mind. Why? I don't know. My mom was married, kids, grandma married, decades, kids, both sides. And I don't know. It just was never something that was super high on my bucket list. It just wasn't until I got a certain age, because society does make women feel like you're not desirable, you're not this, you're not that if you're not married or if you don't have any kids. Like, did nobody want you? Nobody thought to put a baby in you, And it's crazy to me because it's two sides to that. It's like, okay, you got one side where it's just like, okay, you're not desirable because you're not married, you don't have kids at this age, and so on and so forth. And then you got this other side where you had kids, you got a baby daddy, nobody wants you, you need to settle for less, So it's either you get married to the first man that asks, or you wind up somebody's baby mother, and have some kids, and then you're left with all this responsibility and all that jazz, or you just didn't pick right. It's crazy to me. And that is a big factor, in a lot of women, not even just black women, but I feel like it is big for black women, but just in general, like, you're labeled the baby mother if you don't go the route of like immediately getting married. And then if that, like he said, if that marriage doesn't work, instead of like, and then we're same thing, we're instilled to work, work hard, make our own money and so on and so forth, but still prioritize that man. And it's just like, can we win? Can we win? But I've like had like an epiphany, because I said for years, all through my early 20s and all that. You know, I wasn't like focused on that. That wasn't my sole purpose. Like, oh, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids. That wasn't that. And after my last relationship, I realized, you know, I said, because I'm turning a certain age, I felt the need. Like, I felt like, you know, I'm less than because of it. But it's in the Bible. Singleness is a gift. And it's funny because my grandma tells me all the time, she's like, you don't know how good you got it. You don't know how good you got it. And I always like, you know, she's just saying this, she's just saying that. But I think it's time that a lot of women realize, especially women like me, you know, that are, I'm not saying like old, but older. You're not in your early 20s anymore. You don't have any kids. You're not married. It's time for you to realize that you got it a whole lot better than you think. And it took me getting out of a relationship where I was focused on that to see how good you really have it. Your whole focus is on you. And if you sit back and you ask yourself, why is this so important to you? What are you going to come up with? Because you don't want to be alone? Because you don't want to feel less than from the next woman that might be married with kids and so on and so forth, but it's the same aspect. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know what their relationship is like. But what you do know is, by yourself, you don't have that same responsibilities. You can be selfish with your time. You can be selfish with your money. You can set the bar here and the standards here. You know how many men, you know how many people are on this planet. And at a ripe age where you can work, you can be successful, you can live where you want to live, do what you want to do, and have the time to focus on you, to focus on God. You don't know how much of a blessing that is. I'm going to insert a scripture, okay, about how much a blessing singleness is. And for those of you that don't have the backing that I have, you know, or like family that will tell you or kind of shake some sense into you, let me be the one. Let me be the one to tell you, you got it good. You got it good. We got to stop seeing it like we're just, you know, not good enough, or we haven't accomplished enough, and so on and so forth. Start focusing on you, because that's why people get in these situations where they're broken and so on and so forth, because you're so focused on everything else. Stop trying to impress people. Stop trying to one-up people. Stop caring what everybody thinks. Who cares? Who cares? It's meaningless. Finally, I want to go ahead and end this because I'm sure it's getting long with all these clips and so on and so forth. But I want to say, like, at the end of the day, we still have to take accountability. We still have to take accountability for the choices we make, the decisions we make. And I feel like in a lot of her videos that I viewed, she did take accountability for a lot of those things. And I don't think you can say that, you know, her following God, and so especially since she grew up in the church, that her following God is just, you know, all about a man. People's like, it's not all about a man. You know, so me personally, I'm like, on women's part, we have to take accountability. You know, that person might do you wrong. That person might make you feel a way or lead you to believe this and that. But God gives us signs. If you ask for him, he'll give you signs. And it's our job to listen to those signs. And when you're by yourself and you're in that season of singleness and so on and so forth, like, take that time to build a relationship with him. You know, take that time to get to know yourself, to enjoy being by yourself. So that the next time you're in the same situation, like I said, people go through the same cycles of foolishness. Foolishness Friday, okay? People go through the same cycles of foolishness, but you continue to go through these same cycles because you have not passed a test yet. Now, if you're not spiritual, you're not religious, whatever y'all like to call it, if you don't believe in God, now you can say what you want. But if you look back at your life, whether you want a job, whether you in a relationship, there are similar signs, similar mess that you have experienced. Same mess, different person that you may have ignored. But yeah, you go through similar tests, similar issues, similar problems. And if you keep failing, you're going to go through these same problems. So when I say take accountability, see what you missed, your reactions, the things that you tolerate, your standards, your boundaries. Take this time to better yourself. So then when it is time, if it ever will be comfortable. If it's not going to be your time, if you're not going to get married, if you're not going to have kids, be okay with that. Be so comfortable with yourself. Be so happy in yourself that you don't need that to validate you, to make you feel like you're that girl. Make you feel like you that girl. Do the work to feel like that girl. But in these same tests and trials that you continue to experience, go through it, learn from it, and do better. Do better. With that being said, thank you all for watching this video. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button because you know you want to, and it's free. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what else you all want me to talk about. The new topics going on, story times you want me to touch on or give my opinion on. Go ahead and let me know in the comments. We back rolling, okay, on these videos. So yeah, love you guys, and I will see you all for the next video. Bye.